So, hi guys, just on for another wee live video here. I actually put up a few posts today, surprise, surprise there. But the first one was actually about Roger Federer and my favourite athlete of all time. He was on to talk about and asked why he was playing so long, and he put it down to playing a variety of different sports when he was younger. So he was a big man for tennis, obviously, but football, skiing. He says he played golf, cycling. He did loads of stuff. The biggest thing he says why he's still playing at this moment in time is because he didn't get bored of playing tennis. There's so much research out there when kids specialize, early specialization in one sport, that they drop out because they just fall out of love with the sport. If you think about it, if you're doing something constantly from a young age, and you're told you have to do this and go here and be better. Yes, at the start you might, oh, I really love this, but after a while, when it starts taking away your childhood, starts taking away everything, you're gonna go, don't know. Next thing as well too, you're gonna have increased risk of injury just from overuse of doing the same movement patterns, the same thing, time after time after time after time. No matter what, it's going to break up. I'm finding at the minute I wouldn't be a big runner, but having to try and do this ultra marathon, I'm finding my knees and everything still quite a bit sore. Just not used to that constant pound. Now that could be obviously due to strength around anywhere else, around my glutes, my back, anything. But just again, just that repetitive, keep going and going and going. It's going to bring up those injuries. So what should we be doing with our kids instead? The first thing is encourage them to play as many different sports as they can, but also be smart in the sports that you choose for your kids. So for example, if they're playing, say, football, and then they're playing Gaelic, and they're playing rugby, and they're playing basketball on different nights and different seasons, that's alright, but it's all invasion sports. It's all field based, it's all team, they're pretty similar. So I would suggest maybe that why not try them at tennis or golf, or even better, gymnastics. Especially I would advise anybody to get their kids involved in some form of gymnastic or strength based movement sport, where it's just, you have to have body awareness, you have to have balance, you have to have strength, flexibility, mobility. These are all attributes that are going to help in your main sport. So that's probably one thing. Another thing I look at as well too, it's developing the whole child. So it's different sports bring different cultures. So even if you're playing just solely football, as in soccer, that's going to actually be different even from possibly a culture in a Gaelic club or a rugby club. Or then whenever you do swap and you have to go from playing a team sport to going entering or playing a bit of golf, there's different rules, different regulations, there's different cultures around that. So again, it just opens your child's eye to go, well, you know what, this is totally different from when I train on a Friday night doing Gaelic or whatever to doing something else. For example, going and playing golf and maybe having to dress up, wear something different, and to have just that different social experience too from it. So those are a few things maybe that you should consider. The other thing, and this is where parents have to be really self-reflective, and that ask your kid what they want to do. Sometimes I know it's hard. We do need to push kids, because maybe to what to do is go to football because they can go and play the Xbox. Then maybe we have to think of ways of eliminating the Xbox. I know a friend of mine did that with one of their kids, and he says how much he loved looking going forward to football and to everything else, whereas beforehand it wasn't the fact that he didn't like football, it was the fact that he would rather play Xbox, which most kids probably will. So first of all, try and find that out. But if they really actually the test going, because it could be something that they don't like, the contact in rugby. I know my son, when I went to tag rugby, and whenever it got to a certain level, then that they were doing tackling, and he just didn't fancy it. He just wasn't ready at that stage, and so we just tried him with something else, and just said, look, if you want to go back, you can go back by all means. Love now, he actually loves athletics. So he's doing athletics. He's actually down in Letterkenny doing that during the week. So he's runs, does all athletics, does all his shot put, does everything. And when he comes up with me too the weekends, then he just loves now getting to football and it Gaelic. So he loves doing it and he loves the contact and he loves getting involved. So he's developed, but again, he's playing two different sports and sports that he loves doing. He loves getting forward, looking forward to it. One of the best things actually, and this probably brings you on to parents and about kids in sport. It was a nice wee story. He said, we try and measure them how well they've done in terms of they're in the A team or they're in this level of competition or in this level of competition. So he said to me, he goes, I think I'm getting faster. And I was like, well, how are you getting faster? Expecting to say that, you did this race, whatever. And he goes, well, there's this guy in our class and he's the fastest to tag, but the other day we were running away and he couldn't catch me, so I know I'm getting faster. I was like, brilliant. I think that's the way that he's exploring how he's getting faster. So all just from, and he probably is, he's learning the techniques from athletic that possibly is making him run that wee bit quicker, and he's maybe getting that enjoyment. He's getting that thing where he knows he has to push himself mentally, because he's doing that individual sport. Whereas when you're surrounded in a team sport, it's a totally different environment. It's about how you can bring your other players in, when you get a ball, you have to try and find somebody to pass it, or you have different options. But when you're doing an individual sport, it's a whole different dynamic. So that would be, without me slapping on too much about that, if your kids are going to play sport, brilliant that they're playing different sports, but try and make sure it's like in different disciplines. So it's not all evasion games or anything like that. So I see something coming up here from Chrissy Calhoun. I've had a couple of kids over the years involved with Irish dancing and really helped them. Good one, I say. Rugby, Gaelic, golf, running, etc. Lots of different things transferable. It's massive, and that's another point I maybe like to talk about too sometime. You're not coaching a sport, you're coaching a child. That's huge. Again, I heard that many times, but it was just a podcast I listened to the other day, and think about it again. You're not going, if you are a youth coach, you're not just coaching the sport to that child, you're coaching the child. So a slogan I like to use too is better athletes, great athletes, but better kids. Better people. So great athletes, better people. So majority of the time, like I'm even working right up with elite level kids with Northern Ireland under 17s and 19s, which is fantastic and I love it. But still at that high level, maybe 2-3% of them are actually going to make it as a professional footballer. So that's not even taking away the guys who not even representing their own country at that level. Some of these guys are not going to be professional footballers. It's as simple as that. They could come home and they could have a part-time or professional contract with clubs and everything, which is brilliant. But they still have to be good people. They still have to go into society. They still have to do everything. And again, by exposing your child to different sports and different cultures, and especially to different types of clubs, and don't be afraid to go club shopping. I know with some things, for example, like Gaelic, you're in a parish and that's yours, and maybe that's something we can change or whatever. I don't know. Maybe that's a positive if the club is really buys into it. But other sports, you can go to different things and say, well, I like that club philosophy, or I like this club philosophy, or that fits into whatever. And if clubs are all about winning, and they actually put it up and say that they're winning, then if you think that that's good for you, then go for it. If your child wants to go and win, that's fine. That's also good. But they also then has to learn that it's not all about that. It's about, you're not always going to play a sport. You have to think about other things. And I think that kind of relates to another post I put up there today. I just seen it. It was on a whiteboard, and it was like, if ABC alphabet, and then if ABC equivalent to 1, 2, 3 and the whole thing, it said that knowledge equates to 96%. So when you add it all up, the KNOW, when you add all that up, it's 96%. When you add in hard work, it's 98%. But he says it's overall, if you add up the word attitude, it's 100%. Now, it's nice, it's out there. Is it a coincidence? Is it not? But working for the athletes that I've worked with and the kids and everything, it's 100% about attitude. And I am a massive, massive believer that attitude trumps everything. You can come in and you can be hardworking, you can have all the knowledge, but even to get to that level, you have to have the right attitude to actually go ahead and deliver that. So you could say, yeah, I'm hardworking, yeah. You might get onto a pitch and go, you know what, don't fancy it today. Whereas if you go, yeah, I'm hardworking and I have the attitude and I'm going to go and do it, then it's massive. Now, it's setting our kids in an environment where, we can develop this attitude. We can develop the right attitude that we want, and it's very hard. We were doing some staff training there a while back, and the biggest thing that hit home to me was this whole thing about feedback, maybe even psychology of sport. It's massive. Like, how do you say that a kid can't react to a certain way or does a certain thing? It's a minefield out there, and hats off to any coaches that are out there giving up their time, volunteering, have kids running left, right and centre. By turning up, you're doing a super job already. But again, you need to have the right attitude to be brilliant. If you really want, not develop the sport, develop the child, and that's massive. So that's going to be me. I'm just going to recap all this. Started off with my favourite athlete, Roger Federer. At a young age, played multi-sports, got involved. Didn't take tennis too serious until he got a little bit older, and then homed in on it. And he says he stayed relatively injury free, and he's more or less loved it. And he says if he would have specialised early, he probably would have fell out of love from it. So that was kind of his. I suppose you could take other examples. People say, oh, but sure, what about the likes of people who really focus on it? And you say, yes, there is examples out there, but there's also examples of people who have specialised early and dropped off. You even take Tiger Woods, for example. Unbelievable. Probably golf's greatest ever. But also look at probably the person that he became. Was that because of his obsession with golf? Look at the injuries he has. Everything like that. So, few things you have to consider. And look, it's open to everybody's opinion. But I'm just putting it out there for people to question it. So yes, I am going to finish at that. Love to hear more of your comments. Love to hear more on anything about this. I am hoping now to get. I will. I'm going to get more people to involved in doing our live series again. So, going to keep up to date with more of this stuff, and hopefully she'll catch up with you guys soon. Okay. And again, if there's anything you want me to kind of discuss or talk about, let me know. Thank you guys. Okay. Bye.